So welcome to day 45 of scaling my marketing and consulting agency to 10k a month. Day 45 is quite a round number in a way because, well, it's half of 90, which is obviously one quarter. So we're halfway through Q1 for the year, which obviously for the business is quite significant. And in terms of today, so it was actually Valentine's Day. Obviously had a lovely time, spent a load of time with my girlfriend. We had a nice steak dinner in the evening. Just at home, kind of home cooked it together. Very nice day, and then had a walk around in the day, and just ate some more. So yeah, really lovely day. In terms of the business, like I was saying, halfway through the quarter, got another call booked in. The leads that are coming through, and by this there's two, are both very good leads in terms of they're clinic owners. One was a doctor, one of them someone that's owning and operating an operation in a clinic within London. They have a location in Manchester as well, I believe. So that's very good. But basically, to get technical about it, the CTR in the campaign is very good, which means that the percentage of people that see the ads and then click through to my landing page is very positive. The opt-in rate, which is how many people that land on the landing page itself actually submit their information, and that was where it was really low. So I basically made some changes to that to get rid of a load of there was a lot of text basically on there, and obviously because I'm doing this for the lead magnet, this part of it anyway, before I get recording some of the ads, it basically means that I'm what was I saying? Sorry. It basically means that obviously they'll be able to see the book. I'm putting the picture of the book more visible because obviously it's the lead magnet that they want, and why they're submitting their information in the first place. So I basically made an alteration to that, and we'll see how that kind of plays out and how that performs. But hopefully it'll be better, and obviously if it's not, then you just change it again. And yeah, that's a good thing about with ads. You can just continue. As long as you continue spending on the ads, you'll get more data, and you can learn more things about it and continue to improve them and optimize the campaigns themselves. So yeah, on that side, really good. Some annoyances over the last couple of days. I didn't actually mention it yesterday, but essentially I had a shift last night. Obviously you would have seen it in a couple of videos back on literally day 44 yesterday. And I finished at 10 p.m. I came back, and basically because it was a Friday night, there was a lot of people about. Obviously, a lot of people that are drunk. I'm kind of cycling towards the front door of my house, which is obviously above shops. And the long and short of it is that basically it ended up in a bit of a fight in a sense. Very bizarre. Situation, and I can't be bothered to get into the details of it, to be honest, but essentially I had people trying to get into the house and having to drag my bike in the house while they're pulling at it, trying to get to me, and having to shut the door on them and then trying to kick it down, having to call the police, stuff like this, because essentially what started all of this was me stopping my bike outside the front door, which is obviously above shops, and therefore blocking somebody from passing, or not really, but them just not expecting me to stop there and getting annoyed about that because they're drunk. So that was weird. Having to call 999, that's the first time I've ever done that in my life. Very bizarre. Not how I expected the night to end, of course, and did get me a bit going, having to push people away and be aggressive myself, to be honest. Obviously wasn't expecting that, and it does, I guess the overall theme and why I mention it now, and the fact that I didn't bother mentioning it in yesterday's video, is just about the theme of kind of some of the overall sacrifices and the things that I'm having to do to live up here, to in my head, right, the thing is that wouldn't have happened if I wasn't coming back from work at that time. If I didn't have the job, it's because I wouldn't need to support myself on, lots of expenses up here. And to be honest, I do think definitely that the pros outweigh the cons. I love being up here for two reasons. It's, to be honest, very pretty around here, firstly. I like travelling in general, so the idea that if I want to go home to Essex, where I'm from, I need to travel, and there'll be things to see out the window as well, and it takes a long period of time because I am quite far away. That feels good. It also means I'm quite close to my girlfriend here, and because a lot of my friends are at uni anyway, they're kind of scattered around the country as it is, so it wouldn't benefit me at all to be in Essex because I've got no friends there. My girlfriend would be incredibly far away, and yeah, this wouldn't be too good. But obviously there are the cons of it in terms of the living arrangements. Actually, last night, it would have been after I recorded, not a lot. Yeah, to be honest, I'm kind of speaking in the future now. It's going to be confusing because I've mentioned it now, but I'm technically recording this from day 46. But there were some annoyances there in terms of on Valentine's evening. So it's still day 45 technically, but this has happened overnight on Valentine's Day. Kind of had earplugs in. I was doing a shift on day 46, so I had to sleep early on this night on day 45. Kind of wasn't really getting to sleep on time as it was, which again that would be my fault. But I kind of had a nap in the day because, we just had a nap, which meant that I was going to take a bit less sleep anyway. But when I put the earplugs in, there was just incredible amounts of noise outside, even to the point where the earplugs weren't even really helping because people were just directly screaming outside the room from obviously my housemates, them being at uni, inviting loads of people around. I then kind of look out the door, obviously quite annoyed, and especially annoyed about obviously the previous night where I've been attacked. So kind of following on from that, and I found 3 people queuing up to use my bathroom, and 2 people in there, literally at the same time. Someone was taking a piss while I was speaking to them, saying you can't be using this. Who told you to use this? And I guess it also comes down to something I've felt a long time, which is overall privilege and, things like this about money to do with people at uni and the people at Warwick, which was the uni that I was at in first year, because a big part of the reason why I didn't feel that I was able to connect with a lot of the people is I don't know, for one, I obviously always had this vision of starting my own business, so I was very interested in, I already wanted to just kind of lock myself away and get started on something. I just didn't know what it was at that point. Before obviously I'd started the business, and I wasn't a huge fan of going out, and when I did, it wasn't the best, and I wasn't able to connect with people in the way that I would have wanted to. So then that made me feel really weird because I was well, I thought I'd want to do uni, and then it became, okay, well, I'll kind of steer away from that. I'm going to start my own business. But one thing as part of that was kind of people that I did know that went to that uni, they would say to me, one of my friends that I'm living with, or someone that was my friend that is the reason I'm living in this house now, was kind of saying, well, come out more, etc., etc. And the things I just didn't have the money to. And there's so many different examples of this, and in this house currently, which just, so much of it just stinks of privilege, to be honest. Just in terms of to be going out 3 nights a week and stuff like that, they don't have to really sacrifice anything at all, which I guess is the norm, to be fair, and obviously they're working hard for their degrees, but obviously their degrees are costing a lot of money, to live costs a lot of money, and it's their parents or student finance, probably a mix of the both, are funding them to go out and do these things and cause me humongous headache. So I guess that annoys me. So yeah, a bit of a mixed day, as you can see from how I'm speaking about everything. But yeah, there's day 45, a bit of a a turn in terms of like events there. But yeah, very good day. Obviously Valentine's Day, like, as I mentioned at the start with the business, moving forward, more calls booked, leads coming through, improving based on where improvements are needed, and my client campaign is fully up and running. The ad account spent £4 in the first day because it's just a brand new ad account, which is the same thing that I had obviously at the start when I started running ads. So yeah, and that got like one lead in, but it wasn't like a serious one. So we just have to run that for a longer period of time, get more data, and then we can see where to go from there. But yeah, there's that.